I, 34F, recently ended my relationship with my boyfriend, 40M, of 5 years, because I felt like he was choosing video games over me. I'm torn because in many ways, he was an amazing partner, caring, funny, and supportive when he was present. But his obsession with gaming created a huge rift between us. We started dating when he was already an avid gamer, but it didn't bother me much at first. I'm not against gaming. I even joined him occasionally, and we would have fun together. But over the years, his hobby became more of an addiction. It was no longer just a few hours here and there, it was his entire life outside of work. He would spend every free moment glued to his console or PC, even during times we had planned to do something together. I found myself eating dinner alone or going to bed by myself more often than not. Any attempts I made to discuss how this was affecting our relationship were met with defensiveness and promises to cut back that never materialized. I tried everything. I suggested setting gaming-free date nights. I joined a few of his online sessions to try and share his interest, and I even gave him space, thinking maybe I was overreacting. But nothing worked. I felt like I was competing with a screen for his attention, and more often than not, I was losing. The breaking point came when we planned a weekend getaway, something we both needed. I was so excited, thinking this was our chance to reconnect, but he spent half the time on his phone, watching gaming streams, and the other half talking about how much he missed his game. When we got back home, he immediately jumped back into his virtual world without even unpacking. I felt invisible. I know he's not a bad person, and I don't believe he did it to hurt me intentionally. He just couldn't, or wouldn't, see how his behavior was affecting us. So, I decided to end things. Now, I'm second-guessing myself. Was I too harsh? Should I have been more patient? I loved him so much, but I couldn't keep feeling like an afterthought. Has anyone else experienced something similar? Did I make the right choice, or did I give up too soon? Update 1. Thank you to everyone who shared their thoughts and experiences. Reading your responses helped me realize that I'm not alone in feeling this way. It's been a few weeks since the breakup, and while it still hurts, I'm starting to see that I made the right decision for my own well-being. Since we broke up, he's tried reaching out a few times. He said he's willing to cut back on gaming and make more time for us, but I'm not sure if I can trust that. I've heard these promises before, and I'm afraid that I'll get sucked back into the same cycle. Part of me wonders if I should give him another chance. People can change, right? But then I think about all the nights I spent alone, waiting for him to put down the controller and be present with me. I've also had time to reflect on my own behavior during the relationship. I realized that I let things slide for too long, hoping he would notice and change on his own. I know now that I should have set clearer boundaries earlier on. It's not just about gaming, it's about respect and balance in a relationship. Both partners need to feel valued and prioritized. I still love him, and that makes this so difficult. But I know I deserve a partner who is fully present and engaged in our relationship. Maybe he will change, but I can't put my life on hold waiting for that to happen. For now, I'm focusing on healing and rediscovering who I am outside of this relationship. Thank you again for your support. It means more than I can say. If anyone else is going through something similar, know that your feelings are valid. Don't be afraid to stand up for what you need in a relationship. It's not selfish, it's necessary. Update 2. I thought I'd finally moved on, but last week something unexpected happened that has completely thrown me off balance. My ex showed up at my door unannounced, looking completely disheveled, and claiming that he had deleted all his games. He said he'd been going to therapy, and was trying to understand why he let things get so bad. He was holding a box full of apology letters, one for every night he had chosen gaming over me. I didn't know what to do. A part of me was moved by his gesture, but another part of me was angry that it took losing me for him to realize what he had. He asked if we could talk things over, and I agreed, if only to get some closure. He seemed genuinely remorseful, and said he'd been working with a therapist to deal with his addiction and emotional unavailability. He said he realized how much he'd hurt me, and that he would do anything to prove he could change. We talked for hours. He was raw, honest, and for the first time in a long time, I felt like I was seeing the man I fell in love with again. He asked if we could start over, take things slow, and see where it goes. I didn't know what to say. Part of me wants to believe him, but the other part is terrified of getting hurt again. What if this is just temporary? What if he goes back to his old habits once he's comfortable again? I told him I needed time to think about it. He said he would wait as long as it took. I'm so confused. I was finally starting to feel like I was moving forward, and now I'm back to square one. Do people really change? Could he really overcome his addiction and become the partner I needed him to be? Update 3. I've been thinking about it a lot, and I decided to meet up with him again, but this time I set some clear conditions. I told him that if we were to even consider getting back together, he would need to continue therapy, and we'd need to go to couples counseling. He agreed without hesitation. He also gave me access to his gaming accounts, and said he wouldn't touch them until we were both comfortable with it. We've been seeing each other casually over the past few weeks, and it's been strange. He's not gaming at all, and while I appreciate the effort, I worry that he's just trying to please me and not truly addressing the root of his addiction. He seems anxious and restless, and I'm scared that he's suppressing his urges just to win me back. I talked to his best friend, who told me that my ex has been struggling a lot, but he's committed to making this work. I don't know if I should feel reassured or worried. I don't want to be the reason he's miserable, but I also don't want to lose myself again in a relationship where I feel second best. I'm giving him, and us, a chance, but I'm being cautious. I love him, but I can't go through that pain again. If he relapses, I don't think I'll be able to handle it. I've been making sure to keep up with my own therapy and self-care. I'm trying to be hopeful, but it's so hard not to be scared. I've told him I need to see long-term change before I can fully trust him again. Am I doing the right thing? I feel like I'm putting myself in a vulnerable position again, but maybe I owe it to myself to see if things can be different this time. Or maybe I'm just delaying the inevitable. I don't know. I'm trying to take it one day at a time. Final update. It's been 6 months since my last update, and a lot has changed. After giving things another shot, it became clear that while my ex was trying hard, the changes weren't sustainable. He started sneaking in gaming sessions late at night, and I caught him lying about it a few times. Each time he apologized, but I knew deep down that we were falling back into the same cycle. I ended things for good a month ago. It was incredibly painful, but I realized that I can't fix someone else, no matter how much I love them. I saw how much he was struggling, and I wish him nothing but the best, but I had to choose myself this time. I've been focusing on my own growth, and while I still have moments of doubt and sadness, I'm slowly finding peace. I'm grateful for the support and advice I received here. It helped me navigate through one of the toughest decisions of my life. For anyone else going through something similar, please remember that your happiness matters too. It's okay to let go, even if you still love them. Sometimes love just isn't enough to overcome everything, and that's okay. Thank you for following my journey. This is my final update. I'm ready to close this chapter and start a new one. Take care, everyone.